I said, hello, is it me you're looking for?
Hello, nice to meet you.
So I've basically been,
My assistant, OpenClaw.
I'm trying to work with this little thing and basically do voice for my OpenClaw. And this little Pi Zero guy basically will allow me to connect to my OpenClaw. And what I have here are all the pieces to kind of make it happen, which is really cool. So the first thing we need is the Pi Sugar Wisplay hat. This thing you can get on Amazon as well. I have some of the repos and stuff that I'll kind of go over that. We have the Pi Sugar, which is like literally the battery pack part for it. And then the other part is called the Pi Zero, the actual board itself. So the board itself is the one that you see. I'm gonna just disconnect it from the battery because it's been charging for a little while. So the board is kind of the thing that's sandwiched there in the middle, and then the display thing kind of just sits on top. It's really cool. So I can ask any questions like, how did the morning macro brief turn out? Can you just give me a one-sentence summary? And so what it's doing right now is basically it's connecting to Grok and GROQ, and it's using the voice thing. So it's super fast at text to speech, but also super fast at returning voices.
Today's brief didn't run because of the cron failure. The
Eh,
most recent one is from yesterday, April 16E8. The most recent one is from yesterday, April 16. They reverse it. Not comfortable recording this one. One sentence. Oil crashed below $90 for the first time since the Iran war started. Gold hit 4,800 simultaneously, and the market is basically saying it doesn't believe the peace talk.
Pretty cool. And you can kind of see the text that's on the screen as well. So the character basically bounces up and down, and it connects to the OpenClaw instance via the API. So with OpenClaw, they do like the responses API, which is pretty cool. And with the responses API, you can just like hit it and it'll return back a result. And what I'm doing in between that is that I'm basically adding some filler and stuff so that it can actually kind of hang out with us. Google has a recent mini 2B models. Yeah, I need to check them out because I want to get the latency. For Grok, it's under 130 seconds for the text to speech or so, or milliseconds, and then the actual speech generation is 300 milliseconds. It's super crazy fast, and it's a thing called Orpheus, and it's really, really cool. It says, I see the message. Hi Ray, what is there, right? If I use a local model, I do have a local model, my DGX Spark. It takes much longer to even just get the text response back and all the stuff transcribed. Because the infrastructure, even though it's local, isn't as fast because of the way that things work. Super cool, right? Crazy, yeah. So this is really amazing because you can see how fast this is. I'll show you some more another request. Like, what's the weather like today? So it basically transcribed that instantly, as you saw. And then what it's doing for it's saying it's still working on that, it's basically hitting the API endpoint right now. And it's actually hitting my OpenClaw because it has no.
61 degrees in Los Altos right now with some fog and light wind. Humidity around 72%.
Yeah. And
Typical Bay Area spring evening. Layer up if you're heading out to dinner.
this is layer up if I'm heading out to dinner. It's super fast. It's really cool. And yeah, so I want to see if I could show you the repo real quick. So the way that this repo stuff works is that this thing called is the Pi Zero OpenClaw. And the way he's set it up right now is that you basically push the button and then transcribe with like OpenAI, and they'll get the LLM stream responses to OpenClaw and then send it over. I did this and it's a little too slow because yeah, it takes about 0.7 seconds for the OpenAI transcription. And the one I'm doing through Grok is like less than 200 milliseconds. And then I generate an audio file back to the device. So in total time, it's probably under half of a second for that whole round trip and everything. But you can kind of see how fast mine's just kind of like behaving here. And let's see what else is here. The WISP board, the prerequisites. I think this is a good question. It's like, what use cases could you see? These are mini AI hardware devices. Agentic Rust. So my question is, what's the added value? I have an iPhone. So for me, I don't like looking at my iPhone. I actually stopped wearing an Apple Watch for that reason. Because with an iPhone, I start launching apps, I start getting distracted, I get into Slack messages, and there's something that's really cool where I can just have a piece of hardware sitting here, and I could tell a friend or a family member or whoever to just pick up the device and start interacting with it. So from a use case perspective, if you have a family, it's perfect because then you could just have a family OpenClaw that just does voice. And so the kids will start asking like, hey, what's mom's schedule like today? Or, can you whatever, like what's in anything that they want to ask, either questions or have it go find information for you, or have it some type of like family repository where you have that information, but it's only accessible through this device. It's super powerful because all I'm doing is reaching out to the APIs to basically generate the voice and transcribe it. But you can take it a step further and do it locally, but it'll just be a little bit of a slower round trip. But as far as like the OpenClaw is just running on my Mac Mini. That's literally just right behind you. It's like right behind there. So that's kind of a really cool use case. For me, I also want to just have a dedicated voice device because I can also, with the Pi Sugar, there's a slot here. I don't know if you can see this, but I can actually add a camera to it. So if I go here at the very bottom, I think you can kind of see that here. So I have a camera module that I'm gonna, let's see. Yeah, this little white piece there, I have a camera module that I can probably add onto it. And then what I'm doing right now is a lot of tracking of my food and macros. So I could just ask it about that, saying, can you tell me more about the amount of calories I'm supposed to eat this week and some of my big wins in the last 3 weeks?
All right, pulling that up.
So since I'm doing a lot of this type of calorie tracking and stuff like that, I want to just take pictures of food and say, hey, I did this. Here's the macronutrients for this. And while I could use a phone, I can do that as well, because with the phone, I can use Telegram to send stuff in. But sometimes I just want to have a conversation, just like pick it up in the kitchen and say, hey, what should I eat today? Or like, what's going on? And like, I'm feeling kind of hungry, but I don't want my same like protein shake and like salad today. What should I change up? Because, how many calories do I have left to burn?
Data loaded. Voice format. Short sentences, cover calories and wins concisely. Your calorie target is 2,200 to 2,350 a day with 170 to 200 grams of protein. As for wins over the last 3 weeks, you dropped an inch off your waist, you cut body fat by about 1.9%, muscle mass is up, and you're doing all of that completely off tirzepatide.
Yes, that's cool. Isn't that amazing that you basically can have one of these things that's literally talking to the OpenClaw? And my OpenClaw has all this information. It's like all this information I've been feeding into it and stuff like that. Stream quality has been automatically lowered. I think I have an issue with my stream quality. I don't know what's going on. Okay, yeah, let me catch up with the comments a little bit. How much does that device cost and how long is the battery life? I think all the components is under like 75 bucks. Like the battery and things, like let me see if I can pull it up. I may have even put it in the Discord. And so that way I can get this stuff for you. Let's see if I can pull this up here. So this is the Pi Zero thing. I think, where is all the hardware? Let me just go on X. Pi Zero. Zero latency. Let me just go. Yeah, here's the display. No, this is not the display. X.com. Let's see. Pi Zero. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, this is it right here. 132. No, this is something. Is this it? Oh, this is a different project. Yeah, I made this. So I made it basically what was called like the fake version of the like Humane AI pen. So this is kind of where I have the camera module, what I'm talking about. This one costs like 130 bucks, but basically it was like the Humane AI pen that you can actually remake yourself. Using similar stuff there, I bought the sticky tape, and then you definitely need a 256 gig SD card in the module. But yeah, the same thing as Pi Sugar, and then This is kind of funny. Yeah, these are all the different things that I bought there. Let's see. But let me see if I could find the other part, because I had a fire one. I think I put it into the, let me see the Discord. I wish I had all the build together, but now that I have a new blog coming up, I'm gonna put it together in my blog. So for those who don't know, we've been spending the last couple of days of the Ray Fernando CC, I think, blog. Because I made a new blog and I'm basically gonna put this up soon. So I'll put the whole build here. So it's gonna be on rayfernando.ai. So yesterday we published, this is my new blog, and this is redesigned from Claude Design. So what's cool about this is the fact that like I'll be able to put all the links and everything, and I'm gonna make a blog post about this because that way I'll have everything on here, because it's kind of all in these different places. So if I go like Discord, in my Discord right now, if I pull it up, I think I'll do like Pi0 display. Here we go. So it's kind of all over the place, but it is here, and it was inspired by this guy here. So let's see if I can put this one here. Copy link. And then I could probably put this. Yeah, the website's fire, right? We built that, we built that the last couple of days, which was crazy. Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of where the Clawberry thing came from, which is super crazy. So this guy here, Bonam, if you haven't a chance, definitely go follow him. I just put it into the chat. And he puts all the components right here. So this is the credit to this guy. I think this guy is the one who put it together with Pi0. And then this guy just got all the pieces for it. Cheaper at other places. But if we just take a look really quickly, whoops. Let's see if I can show you real quick. So I grab 1, 2, and 3. The first one's 35 bucks, Pi Sugar, right? And then the second one is 40 bucks, which is the Pi0 2 board. This comes pre-soldered and everything. And that's basically, you know, this guy right here. Oh, this is a color-coded solder one. So let me open up this thing. You can kind of see, like this is this guy down there. Yeah. And then the last one is the Pi Sugar, which is the board, basically the battery thing, which is kind of what I'm showing you. And it just sandwiches together pretty easily, and then it works. So 30 bucks, 60, 70, so 70 plus what? 70, 100, 110 bucks, right? Dang, prices have gone up. Yeah, I think the prices have gone up. Lowest in 30 days. Yeah. Yeah, you better get it before it kind of goes out. But what I like about this whole ecosystem is the fact that you can tinker with hardware. And I just love tinkering with hardware and software, which is really, really cool. It blows away Alexa. Yes, so that's the other thing, Phil, is the fact that like you can now have a more powerful Alexa. And so with this type of thing, yeah, you have an OpenClaw. I mean, like you don't have to like modify an Alexa, you just build it yourself. And then the battery, I think the battery lasts like 3 hours or so. It probably can last longer. I probably have to do some optimizations and things, but I just plug it in, I charge it, and then I use it and stuff like that. So I just plug it in down here. You can ask me any questions and stuff like that. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, cool. Yeah. I would use it for a home assistant. Yeah, so right now you have to, with these Pis as well, is that they have to hook up to your Wi-Fi. So you can SSH into them and then set up the Wi-Fi. I set up Tailscale. And so the trickier part is like, it's not like a phone where you can just kind of carry it around, but you can just kind of have one of these kind of laying around in your area. So, hey man, I really appreciate that, Focus and Fresh. It's really, really cool that we can talk about that. Yeah, stuff real time. Home use would be nice, to take it out on the go would be awesome as well. Yeah, if you can set it up to basically do the streaming so that it works through your phone's Wi-Fi, you could just set up to your personal hotspot and then all of a sudden you can SSH into it. And yeah, you can totally set that up. It takes a little bit of configuring for sure. You end up having to play with Grok CLI and end up copying yeah, I got a 300 bucks Grok plan. So now we have the super Grok plan. So if we go to grok.com, I spent the 300 bucks. I haven't done the CLI yet. Does the CLI actually have Is there a CLI for this? Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to see if I could change my character for my Pi Zero. So like my character right now is just this little bouncy guy here. Hi, how are you today?
Functioning well. Thanks for asking.
So what if,
You.
so I want to see if I can probably ask Grok 4.3 to change my character. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Also, are you at React Miami this week? I am not. I don't have a reason to be there. What's going on at React Miami? Grok takes forever. React Miami. Ultimate React Conference in the US. Sold out. Okay. What do they talk about? Just React? Figma, Vercel. Okay. Very cool. So they're going to have a party. It's just a party? Sessions start, sessions end, morning. Okay. Beautiful schedule. That looks cool. Designing the in-between states, async and React. You know what we need to do? We need to throw like a vibe code version of this. An AI engineering version of this. Dev health 5K to yoga. Dang. That's pretty cool. Wow. Okay. That's awesome. Okay, which quick examples of what the CLI can do. Okay. Where can I get the CLI? Bruh. I like how I ask about, is there a CLI for this? And it has no context. Yeah, I heard about Vercel got pwned today, and that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Where is the tweet? They just tweeted this. Right here. We've identified a security incident that involved unauthorized access to certain internal Vercel systems impacting a limited subset of customers. Please see our security bulletin. Yeah, so I think what this means is that, like, from my understanding, is they have access to like everything inside of here, and apparently there's a ransom for all the stuff to be sold, like for $2 million or something like that. I have no clue really what's going on. All I know is that like they've been impacted. They're saying they're taking protections, and I just am going to be waiting for them to figure out what to do next. What they're saying is to review and rotate environment variables and take advantage of the sensitive and variable features, and then review the log for suspicious activity. So you have a couple of options. For me, what I'm probably going to be doing is looking at my logs for like weird stuff that's going on, because what's been happening. That's part of the reason why rayfernando.ai, my blog, I think stopped working. Is because I have no clue whether a key got rotated or whatever other issue is going on. So I need to take a look at that. And I was like, okay, I need to just actually redesign the entire site and not make it data-based, but just make it markdown-based, which is super helpful. But the other thing I need to do is also rotate my keys. So I have a lot of environment variables, Stripe. I don't think I have Stripe keys on there. So one of the advantages that I did was I have my Stripe keys inside of Convex. So in Convex, for my backend site, so I have Ray Transcribes. If I go to app.raytranscribes. So if you don't know, yeah, raytranscribes.com. So this is my site. I have a dark version of this too. Okay, so in this site, this is basically now hosted on Convex. This is my prototype. I need to update this video, but yeah. In essence, this app basically is all running on Convex. So my secrets for a lot of this stuff are actually just stored in Convex directly. And there are very few secrets I have on Vercel that I'll have to rotate, but I definitely will have to rotate them. But it's pretty cool. So yeah, one advantage of Convex, which I like, is the fact that I can, they are pretty good with security in general, and stuff like that can happen as well. But I don't have to worry too much about too many keys being rotated, which is good. I do have some keys in there, but yeah, that's what's up. Cool. Hey, how's it going, man? Yeah, this is crazy. I think your name is Keegan or something like that. I'm a CLI too. Yeah, cool. Crazy. They pay ransom apparently. Oof. Yeah. Awesome. That's crazy. Okay, so the EMV vars. What about just the general access to Vercel servers? If we got, um, I don't know. People are saying they're rotating their GitHub keys, but here's the thing. I feel like if they're compromised and still compromised right now, whatever keys I rotate, I think they may still be able to get access to them. But I have like, there's no update yet, so it's kind of rough. I'm just, it's rough. It's gonna be a rough one. I'm not really looking forward to seeing what they say today, to be honest. It's gonna be nuts. What are we doing today? So what we've been doing today is that we're kind of playing around with this little thing called the Pi Zero. And this little guy will basically allow us to talk to our OpenClaw. So I have it hooked up and charging right now, but so if I say like, you know, I still need to eat breakfast today because all I've had is coffee. What do you recommend I should eat? And so what's cool about it is the fact that like this little thing talks to my OpenClaw, and my OpenClaw, I also talk to it on Telegram, but this is just basically my home device.
There's a clear answer here. Make the kale berry shake.
So
That's 2 scoops of Ascent Whey, Siggy's yogurt, whole milk, kale, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and banana.
that's bananas.
It's about 770 calories and 80 grams of protein in one shot, which sets you up for the whole day.
So yeah, one of the things that I've been doing is I've been taking my OpenClaw onto my fitness journey with me right now because I'm on a mission to basically lose, I need to lose like around 30 pounds of body fat. I know it doesn't look like it on me right now, but I still have like a lot to go. You know, I have a lot of like fat that's kind of just hanging out here and stuff like that. But you know, I need to actually like start leaning out, you know, because I have like 21 or 22% body fat, and you can't even really see like definition and stuff and muscles and different things. Like it's stuff is coming back. So I've been like 3 weeks on like my training and stuff, and you know, like everything is still kind of just around. But before the pandemic, I used to be somewhat lean, but I never had like abs or anything like that. So I want to try to get some abs and everything. And I've been using my OpenClaw to kind of help me on that whole journey because I've been trying to do this thing called Body Game. And so it's super serious about the food you intake and making sure you set yourself up for success every single day. So in the mornings, I have coffee, and then when I go work out or do a weight training workout, I basically then supplement it with like protein and stuff like that. And then I like making these shakes. So I have kale, berries, yogurt, protein, you know, and just water and stuff. And I hit my protein goals, like 200 grams of protein a day. And so so far in the last 3 weeks, I've lost 3 pounds of fat and gained 3 pounds of muscle. So it's kind of crazy. Even though the scale stays the same, I've also lost an inch around my waist, which is crazy. So yeah, when you're gonna see me like a month from now, I'm gonna start being looking like, yeah. And then my goal by October is to have like 10 to 12% body fat. And so that way I'll actually really have abs and stuff. And I've never done that before. I've never had a 6-pack abs. I think it's really rare just for males in general to have that. You know, I think it's only like less than 1% of people in the US have that. So I want to be a 1%er. But it's really easy. You actually have to, it's easy to overeat because I've noticed when I go to restaurants, you know, everything's fried and like, it's a whole different language of thinking, but I'm like going to use my OpenClaw to help me with that. So a lot of that conversation started on Telegram, you know, with OpenClaw on my phone. And then it's kind of just being enhanced on here too, so that I can just have some conversations. And this will just kind of be hanging around. I'm going to add a camera to this. And then I want to add some sensors in my refrigerator or some cameras in my kitchen. So, because I want to be able to monitor certain things, like when I'm low on certain items. So one of these cameras can just be reporting back to my OpenClaw every day. It's like, okay, this is where we're at with our supplies, and then order some supplies and get some new stuff, what's going on. It's a really simple diet, but it's, you know, like I use the kale every day. I use a lot of different things. So I feel like, why not, right? I mean, this AI is supposed to help us. And one of the hardest challenges is to basically do what very few Americans can do, which is get to like a healthy level of body fat, which is like 10 to 12%, right? It's not crazy. It's not like I have to starve myself. I just have to follow like a protocol. It's very strict. Very few people do it. And the people who do it, I think it changes you mentally. And I think that's what I'm ready for right now, right? I'm ready to kind of take this next level. to take these things mentally. Yeah. So what's my daily calorie intake? It's between 2,300 to 2,600 right now. Like 6'3", 200 pounds. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm also gaining muscle. So I do 1 hour weight training. So it's not like crazy weight training, but it's basically working the upper body and lower body and so forth. I've upped it from 3 times a week to 5 times a week now, and I don't do any cardio. And that'll put too much stress on my body because I want to go through this fat burning phase right now. And adding muscle and then making sure I keep my protein up is definitely the best way to do that. I also had a lot of conversations with my AIs, obviously, to help me with that. You're on the right paths. They say that abs are made in the kitchen. That's facts. Yeah, abs are definitely made in the kitchen, and it's really, really, really crazy. How's the sleep cycle? So you know what's really funny? My sleep cycle was really bad before because I was too like into like waking up in the morning and just doing AI coding right away. And so what I've changed it up is like, okay, I wake up in the morning. The first thing I do is going to try to go work out. So there have been some days that are like my rest days, like today and then like yesterday, where, I just rested up, kind of get my stuff going and, establish my different routines and stuff, making sure I get my fuel and stuff going and go for a walk. But yeah, that's kind of right now. Let's see. Mike, I think his claw said 2,200. Yeah, basically. Yeah. How can we pair with you together? We've gotten super. Can we create something so we can do this? Oh, so hey, Mike, so I've thought about doing this. I want to maybe create a different channel that's focused on the fitness journey part, because that's something where I want to share, like whatever I'm doing and like share my thinking, because there's a lot of other mental things that kind of are involved in terms of like reframing a lot of default thinking that's just, I don't know, for whatever reason, it seemed like a bigger challenge than I thought it was going to be, because I have never done this before and I used to be super heavy. But then I leaned down, but when I went through COVID, I couldn't move. So I gained 60 pounds just being in bed, and I couldn't, like anytime I did exercise, I would get inflammation and everything would just be swollen. And so, like having to go through like this several times has just been kind of insane. But now I'm at a point where everything's kind of stable, and now I'm able to just kind of, naturally do things. It's been a big learning journey. And also my brother is just going through a similar journey. So he's going from 400 pounds and he's already down to like 350. So we're kind of on the same journey. And I thought, man, we should just make a channel and just talk more about that. Because I feel like there's the intersection of these tools and AI and like asking the AI back and forth for things. And then also meeting experts and talking to them about that, like food nutrition. Because I mean, what we learn talking to the doctors as well, like with my brother, like is that like surprisingly for that big of a person, he actually will put more stress on his body if he does cardio, where if he like does strength training and then focuses on protein intake and just kind of keeping, the calories within the range, then he gets to grow his muscle, and then his fat will eventually just, starts trimming away because the metabolism kicks in. And I thought it was really interesting. Obviously this isn't like health advice or anything like that, but it's just practical advice from real people. And I was like, oh, that's fascinating. I didn't realize you could do that, but yeah, that's really, really cool. Yeah, health is wealth. See, without health, you don't have the brain, the thinking, the fuel, and everything that kind of go around. You know what I mean? Deep Nutrition by Catherine. Oh, let me look this up. I want to look this up right now. Deep Nutrition. Let's see. This is like becoming. That's why I love the live stream. Nutrition by Catherine Shanahan. What argues that modern diets are causing disease? Yeah, I believe this. Ancestral eating pattern based on 4 pillars. Yeah, it's really funny because the diet isn't that complicated. It's just really simple. It's more of like avoiding all the processed stuff, really. That's how can I get into this book? Can I buy it right now? Oh, my bad. Let me get rid of this camera. Deep Nutrition. So what do they say? Why your genes need traditional food? Yeah. I wonder what the TLDR of this. Let's see, let me go Grok. Can you tell me what this book is about? I'm trying to get my $300 worth. That's what I'm saying right now. I paid $300 for Super Grok. Like, this is $300. It's gonna read the book for me, bro. That's what's up. Let's see. I've started eating veggies and fruits, but still not able to get back to the gym due to pressures and stress. Any advice? Oh man. I think, Mike, I feel like for me, the moment that I had was more like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to take this vehicle as my body to the future if I can't like start off with a good foundation, you know what I mean? And the more that I realized that I wasn't taking care of it, the more I realized that, you know, it just doesn't set me up for the mental clarity, the mental discipline, the like ability to say no, the everything else on forward, right? So what I started realizing as soon as I started adopting these behaviors, Mike, is that like I'm wanting to be more locked in. And it's not that I have to even think about being locked in. It's just more of like, yo, this is my purpose now. And like, I just need to make this happen because this is like a state of emergency for my body. And that's the way that I'm treating it, right? So in the way that companies treat like certain things that happen in their companies for like an emergency, that's the way I'm treating my body, right? The fact that I don't have like, you know, 12% body fat and the fact that it's like 20 or something, like this stuff that's hanging around is basically a state of emergency, right? So that's everything that would cause inflammation, that will lead towards diabetes, that lead to a lot of different health effects. And if I keep this up for the rest of my life, you know, for the next 50 years or something like that, is carrying this around going to be helpful? And the answer is, if you look around in America, right? Like it's pretty, there's a lot of examples and it's not pretty. And so by waking up and prioritizing like the health as the first thing in the morning and starting to build towards those habits, Mike, I feel like that's where it's going to pay off like those dividends. And I think it's just literally just telling everyone in your body and telling you're mentally telling yourself and telling everyone else around you that like, this is my emergency thing. I need to take care of this. And then all the other things will just fall into place, if you know what I mean. So that's just the way that I'm treating it. And I feel like, you know, people make time in the morning to try to make sure that they can, you know, take care of it first thing. And that's a big intention. Like if you wake up in the morning and that's just your thing, you start to like really just go into it. So hopefully that's helpful. Health is wealth, yeah. Pull-ups, get a pull-up bar. It's good for back, arms. Yeah. Yeah, there are also some programs you can build with just free weights and stuff. But yeah, just like building the movement so you can do upper body, lower body. So I think most people get things confused too, is that like your back has large muscles and your legs are huge muscles, right? So exercising them, especially legs, you burn a lot of calories, right? So you want to exercise all of them. If you just do bicep curls, like this is a tiny muscle here, but then if you do like the arms and push-ups and other types of things like squats, deadlifts and things, those are also helpful. But obviously like do some research and that, you know, for your situation and your body type and all that stuff, so you don't really kill yourself, and you know, definitely take it the way you need to do. So the book is information that directs how our genes express themselves. The 4 pillars to the human diet are fresh food, fermented and sprouted foods, meat cooked on the bone, and organ meats. Oh, this is cool. Okay. What's wrong with the modern diet? It's critical of industrial seed vegetable oils. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Practical takeaways are weight loss, cravings reduced. Who's this for? Writing for passionate, accessible. I think for me, the biggest out of all of these is like sugar. So like sugar is a crazy drug because it's so highly addictive. And whenever they throw, like, I'm not talking about sugar from fruits because sugar from fruits is good, but like, and it's very nutritious, and the way that your digestive system breaks them down to create the microbiomes that you need down here. But like, if you get like added sugar into things, then that makes it kind of like, ooh. And so I've noticed that like in the last 3 weeks when I go to places and they, you know, add sugar or add these different things, it's like, oh, my mind goes like, oh, whoa, I need more of that. I'm like, hold up. this is a drug that's being activated right now. I need to stop. You know, like I need to put this away. I can't. You know, so it's really weird to kind of try to break that cycle, and you start to realize like what's happening in your food, right? So that's what's up. Um, that is awesome. Damn, I'm from three. Holy smokes, man, Justin, way to go, dude. 330. That's huge. Like going down, man. You can see 300 right now. I can see that on you right now. I can see that you're headed that way for sure. Yeah. Great use case for OpenClaw. Yeah. Also hungry for changes. Oh, I heard about that one. Yeah. Maybe you could share what you have learned about your body. I'm 170 pounds. I want to reduce to at least 25. Yeah, I'll share some more, I think, as I go for sure. Yeah, health is number one. Yeah. Here's the summary. Yeah. You can use Grok with OpenClaw, by the way. Unsure if it's the sub, but Musk made a tweet about, oh yeah, I heard about this. Let's see, Grok. Okay, Grok. You know, I don't know why, but I'm liking Grok because I don't have this anxiety about tokens, right? Like in the same way that Opus does. And it's pretty fast. Maybe because I just have a bias because I want to get my $300 worth, but we'll see. Let's see. What is the latest announcement about using Grok with OpenClaw and X API? So there was an announcement that was made about like not being charged for reading your own tweets on your own timeline, stuff that is on your lists, and a bunch of other things. Like I think you do get charged, but it's really, really minimal. So I think, yeah, we'll see. But there's a pretty viral tweet that came about. We'll see. The gym is your defrag. Yeah, your body's the report card. I like the saying. Yeah, a lot of healthy people in the chat. Y'all are chads right now. Yeah, that's what's up. What voice pipeline for the OpenClaw? So the one I'm using for OpenClaw right now is from Grok with a Q, and it's called Orpheus. So that's the speech model. And then the text-to-speech is their Whisper Large v3 from Grok as well. The whole thing under the round trip is super fast. It basically feels instant. I also wrote some code in here, and when I say I wrote some code, the agent helped me architect it. I guess I architected it and I told the agent to write it, but I have like about some filler voices in here and these different layers where if it's searching for information, it'll just pretend like it's like answering you back saying, I'm still thinking about it. Because the round trip to OpenClaw and back is 3 seconds-ish, which can be a little while, but this interaction and seeing stuff on the display kind of hides that, which is really cool. I'm planning to open source the repo. I'm doing some refactoring on that pretty soon. Let's see here. Where is it? I have my new website with rayfernando.ai that I'm going to be making. So I'm going to make a blog post that's dedicated to it. And in the blog post, you'll have like step-by-step stuff for how to like copy and paste and everything like that. So part of the Claude design stuff that we did yesterday, which was super fire. I really, really like that. So Elon announced you can access the X API via the OpenClaw. We're trying to make it affordable without giving away the shop. So, okay, so the affordability, so reports mention that 0.001 per call. That's amazing. That's really cool. So I just used the X API, which I already have configured. And then enable the new native X API skill. Okay. The freshest development is OpenClaw Grok. I need to set up Grok for mine as well. That's cool. Yeah, because I just paid the $300. So I think Grok search with this would be really cool. Dang. Yeah. Kettlebells by the office chair. Oh, yeah, that's really cool too. Legs are hormone producing, yes. A lot of API costs for local stuff. Well, the cost is pretty cheap for Grok. Grok Orpheus, I think. $22 for a million characters? I don't even cross a million characters. A million characters is a lot. Yeah, max 200 characters, yeah. It's pretty good. It's really, really fast, like insanely fast. By Canopy Labs. Supported models, yeah, interesting. Loved your last two videos about Claude Design Stitch V0 propaganda Grok. The Ghost You session. I love the video. I'm from India and it's 11:30 p.m. I will watch for sure. Hey man, I appreciate that. Yeah, we covered a lot of ground and it was really, really funny. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, the Elon Glazer. So for those who don't know, and this is what happened last time, is that I said, what's on your mind? And like, I'll probably do this right now. You can see this. This is hilarious. Grok. I'll say, because it asked me, what can I help you with today? I was like, what's on your mind? Watch this. This is funny. Thinking about your requests. Responding. It's a fun, helpful way inspired by Hitchhiker's Guide. So it doesn't, okay, so it used to tell me more of the thinking traces and it used to show like what it was thinking about. Like it was showing that it was connecting to Elon's whatever, you know? But I wonder if they removed it after our live stream. See, I think they filter it out now. They censored it. See? Okay, yeah, they patched it. For sure. Yeah, for sure they patched it. Yeah. I feel lucky to have discovered this channel. I'm not a developer, but I learned so much from the way things are explained here. Hey man, I appreciated that. That's kind of the goal here, is that, you know, for me, I always want to have a channel where I can look back, you know, and feel like not only have I helped out people, but people who have helped me have done the same thing for me as well. Have any of you guys tried GPT 5.4 Pro lately? So I tried this yesterday or a couple days ago on the stream, and it failed super hard at generating my website. We gave it one prompt. It was literally just one prompt to design the HTML for my website, and it totally fail-boated ChatGPT. It just produced, it was trash. We went with ChatGPT Pro, Extended Pro, and it just totally fail-boated. I'll show you. Recent was, is it even saved anymore? Brief analysis? Let's see. What is it? Yeah, this is it. So we pasted a markdown file, which was the, what's going on here? Pop-up window blocked. Markdown? Okay, I think it just downloaded a markdown file. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. So this is the markdown file for the blog redesign. So this is what I pasted it into ChatGPT, which literally explains my whole website. And we gave this to, mind you, Google Gemini 3.0 Flash. And Flash cooked the website like a beast. This is only 500 lines. So it's not like I'm asking it to do a lot. There's a lot of really great description that is in here. And look at this, is like a masterclass in prompting, right? So I just said, hey, go ahead and build this website. It's like there's no repo here. It thought for like 11 minutes and did a whole bunch of, you know, stuff. I had no clue what it was thinking about here. You know, evaluating the documents and like overthinking, and it was even writing some Python, and I, you know, was just doing a lot of work, right? And so it says, I got it. It's a very clear brief, and the main thing is asking not a blog custom colors, is asking for a broadcast style publishing system. It's like, bro. Like, can you not just build a site? So it's like, here, let's go ahead and try to build a site. And then it tries to implement it. And I was like, can you just give it to me in an HTML file or something like that? So yeah, let's see, download the full zip project. Is the zip project still here? Yeah. So like, it tries to give me the HTML for the site, and it just, this is the HTML. Like, there's no styling or anything like that. So let me open the project folder, see if it does anything. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I mean, what if it made the best blog ever and I'm just totally tripping? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, this is from ChatGPT, okay. Oh, I opened the wrong file, that's why. Oh, okay. Let's see. It's cute. Okay. Does it change the line? Okay. I mess with that. Okay. Layout from grid to magazine. So we do grid to list. Okay. Magazine. Ooh, okay. Let's see, go view all. That's hot. Okay. Okay. Yo, okay, so ChatGPT-4o, okay, I have to apologize because I opened up the individual file, not realizing that they actually just gave me the whole zip file with all the files inside of it. Wow. So I could do light mode too? Hey, okay. Hey, yo, ChatGPT-4o did cook with this prompt. Nice. Compact. I can say layout is list. Layout is grid. Hey, this is cool. I actually like this layout a lot. It's left aligned. I would like it centered, but it's pretty nice. Let me go back to dark mode. Wow. Read. Yo, this is pretty fire. I like this. This is the way it does the code stuff. Super cool. Impressive. Super impressive. Single file X. Huh. What if I up the motion? What happens? Go back to here. Oh, I have no clue what the motion changes about me. Okay, okay. I like it. I like it. It's shipped. This is GPT-5 Pro extended thinking. Okay. I like it. Huh. I'll dig it for sure. Interesting. So yeah, that's what it did. So it did the whole thing. It made the HTML stuff. Wow. 24 post data with excerpts tags, article-driven rendering, reusable HUD style. So it made everything through, okay. Got it. Okay. So it actually did do the work. It just displayed it incorrectly. Huh. And that took, I think that took quite a bit of time. Wow. Okay. Cool. I'll work with that for sure. Okay. So let's see. Okay. I think what I wanted to do is, yeah, we're talking a little bit about health. We're talking about, let's see, walk with your work, walk and work with your Hermes or OpenClaw. Oh, I see. Is this for like the what do you call it, for the thing? I like the Hermes model. It's really cool. Base GPT, yeah. Yes. Okay, so we got some of the nutrition stuff. We have this. This is an interesting take from my buddy Robin, but basically he's talking about Opus 4.7 thinking high in cursor and then GPT-5.4 high fast in codex. And I like both models actually. And in cursor, it's really interesting because of the parallel agents that it launches, and it's super fast. It is crazy fast. And what's also fast is GPT-5.4 inside of cursor too, which is crazy too. There's something in the way that it's able to keep things in the session running. So the way I treat cursor is like, okay, I'm gonna work on one session. I have like either a 200K token context window or a million token context window, and I just wanna get something shipped really fast and just move super quickly. I move super fast in cursor. Also, the new Composer 2.0 model is probably not talked about enough, but that is a phenomenal model for just doing work, for finding files, for digging through things, especially for research on code bases and digging through things. It's incredible. So yeah, I would definitely say they're both pretty, like, I think back working using these two together, you have to use them together. You know, you have to like generate code with one, review things, or do the vice versa and so forth, you know, generate requirements for something and do that. Wow, that's cool. Let's see. Yeah, 4.7 is kind of a mix. So here's an interesting take too that I don't know if y'all realize this, but this is something that I've been seeing recently, my prompting with 4.7 is I was talking to Botoshi about this, and he wrote a really funny post, and I'll read it to you right now, basically saying, says, okay, I figured out the best way to talk to the new Opus 4.7. It's like, but basically what he's doing is that he lets Opus 4.7 try to figure out its way. So he doesn't tell it to go do certain things. In fact, he tells it to just like, hey, I want you to go build the thing and you're smart enough to go figure it out and go figure it out. So as long as it's Opus is the one that's actually steering itself, it tends to do a better job. So whenever you tell it, no, don't do it this way, it tends to want to ignore you. Like it tends to want to prefer its own like thinking, right? So it gets high off its own supply. And so you kind of have to like sort of lead it in that direction. So if you're prompting with this like, you know, Opus 4.7 model, think about like, and if you're having some trouble, just think about like, how can I lead the model to a place where it can sort of figure it out for itself, right? So you just actually don't even give that much descriptions. You give less of a description and you give like, hey, I want you to build this out and I want you to include these things. And then go look over there. I think you should be able to get everything you need, right? And here's some tools for you and then just go. And that's all you want to say basically. So yeah, prompting Opus 4.7 is more like, you have these tools and you should be able to use these and here's some basic things of what I want, you know, go put together a plan and come back to me with what you think. And then like it does its thinking, it loves to go do thinking and then it comes back. And it's like, here you go, here's everything that we have. It's like, oh, this is great. You know, how about we add in like, so you have to treat it like a smart employee that you're talking to and also like give it more encouragement. Be like, oh, you're on the right track. Why don't you also include this? Because that's going to make your responses that much better. And they're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. So yeah, you have to gaslight the model back. I've heard workaround to adaptive thinking for chat cowork is just to use Claude Code for everything. Yeah, exactly. So that's the unfortunate part, but I work a lot from my phone. So now I'm just using Super Grok Heavy on my phone. And I get like, if you've seen the agents that work also in Super Grok, or sorry, Grok. In here, you can change it to heavy team of experts and it does crazy amount of research for you, like a lot of research, super fast, right? So I think we can do like for this one, I'm gonna do this, watch, I'll show you real quick. In here, if you change it to heavy, right? Watch, look at all these research, like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know how many agents, 12 agents that get deployed. Each of the agents do like 10 different web result searches. And then they're all searching different things. So they're searched through a ton of posts. 15 agents, holy shit. It's crazy, right? So this is the type of thing that I want from Opus. I'm paying $200 a month. See, and it even found that tweet from Scoblazer, which is the one that I was thinking I was gonna grab. I feel like the heavy is much more comprehensive than the current 5.3 beta and, or 4.3 beta, whatever it is. Yeah, so look at, so despite it thinking for this long, it did a ton of web searches, like all these web searches here. And this is normally what I would tell Exa to go grab, but it grabs itself, you know, from all these different sources. All the agents grab these, right? It's crazy. Even agent 15 shows us thinking. Like, look at the thinking trace in that. Sent to Grok, latest Elon Musk announced posts, right? And then, because this is all around the X API, like all of these did this stuff in parallel and they're basically coming together and then sorting the stuff out and then presenting to you. It did all of this work with all those agents in 33 seconds with how many? I think 12 plus? Yeah, like 15 or 16 agents. Incredible, right? So this is the same request, a lot faster, and I can just do it on my phone. And I don't always have Claude Code pulled up on my phone. And I don't feel like I'm getting skimped in terms of 861 sources in 2.4 seconds. That is crazy. Crazy amount of searching. Crazy, right? Insane. Yeah. So this is like a super fast version of UltraThink, you can say, yeah. Have you tried contemplating mode for Meta AI? No, I need to try that. Contemplating. No. What happens if you ask Opus 4.7 UltraThink in chat? It doesn't do it. It just takes so long. Claude. Right? So what Interesting thing happened is that Matt Berman noticed that it doesn't want to even do web requests. Let's see. Searching the web. Okay. Let's see if it does it. They may have fixed it. I mean, they may have had an issue with web requests. So I did 8 results. So it's searching through my memory right now. A lot of these appear from AI-generated content farms. Maybe? I don't know. Is that what I do? I just search through slop? I feel like everything's AI-generated these days. Grok tends to fabricate information. This is all baked into their instructions. Like the model has a bias towards Grok. See, that's why you need all these different. That's why also you need open source, right? You need to be like doing all kinds of stuff. Let me dig into more specific announcement to give you an accurate picture. Look at this. It's searching through more. GitHub, HighMaker, I don't know. I noticed some inconsistencies in between what I'm finding about OpenClaw and what raise memory indicates search results show one thing called formerly Claude bot. Let me check more recently, cleaner sources. Oh my God. Let me verify by fetching the actual release notes directly. I think we messed up, man. I'm burning through my credits right now. I'm gonna waste like 10% just on this request, bro. I can't. Yeah, man. The latest substantive announcement is Grok Imagine Video is now bundled into video provider. Now ships along Alibaba Moon. Okay, that's not what we asked. Okay. Quick clarification on your phrasing. Because XAPI could mean 2 different things here, both happen to be true. XAPI API is what authenticates everything above, and X Twitter platform, X search actually search. Wow. I did all this just to get this result? Really? April 6th. We're April 19th. What happened? I think it's even in the results here, right? Like, it's not even up to date. And then here's Super Grok. It's like, yeah, the latest announcement from Elon Musk yesterday, he posted about X-axis. This directly enables Grok with OpenClaw. It's like, it's a pretty straightforward announcement, right? OpenClaw is an open source local, but like what ended up happening is Opus did not trust the result. So like Opus didn't trust like, oh, you know, it's from Grok, oh, and it's from content farms on X or something. Oh no, we don't want to touch that. We're too cool for that. Y'all seeing this right now? This is crazy. Huh. OpenClaw has a native official support for Grok models. I mean, this is really straight to the point. And this is from the same source that was also referenced over here in here, but it just didn't choose to figure out that it should use that. The new XAPI integration is here, yeah. Pay per use, yep, look at this. This is great information. Yeah. You can get started by, and like, this is beautiful, this is perfect. I checked all those sources, amazing, easy. I don't see the problem. I don't know, maybe it overthinked. I have no clue. Yeah. And I think it got conflicted because of some of my memories, right? About OpenClaw, bot, and all this other stuff that I was saying from before, and it kind of really muddied the results. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, that's what's up. So I got this little guy. Now we need the same prompt in Gemini 3.1 Pro. I don't know. What's the weather like today in San Francisco?
Just a few more seconds.
What's the weather like in San Francisco?
It's currently cloudy and 61 degrees in San Francisco, California. Expect partly cloudy skies starting tonight. Today's high will be 65 and the low will be 52.
Partly cloudy skies. Basically the same as Los Altos. Classic SF. Bring a jacket if you're heading over there tonight.
That's funny. For a non-dev using coding tools models, what should I learn, prioritize first? Set up prompting, adding skills. I get things done. It just takes way longer than it should. As a non-dev, I think the first things to kind of get set up are like prompting and like thinking about things in an agentic manner or how task like I guess you could say almost like task decomposition or understanding what you want to be achieved. So if there's something that's repeatable that you have all the time, you probably want to see, is there like an agent you can have that does that type of thing? Previously, people used to write code for those types of things, but now, people are basically just handing those tasks to the agents. And by giving the task to the agent, they can kind of go figure it out on themselves. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying a little bit earlier about prompting with Opus 4.7, but it's a similar concept. It's like, okay, so if you want me to do this task every morning when I wake up, how can you go do it, right? Like, and then what is helpful for you in parallel is that you want to start to like, in the developer world, when you start looking at GitHub repos, those can give you ideas for projects and where you can tap into as far as somebody who's already done work on your behalf. And so that's kind of the building blocks of software. It's like somebody's already built this. Who's already built it? Has it been maintained? Is it something that I can use in my project as well? And so that's what makes things really fun. So for example, in the Pi projects, somebody made a thing called Pi0, the software, right? So I'm able to take that and then I'm able to tell my agent to add the new feature for voice or add this new feature for the camera, add this new thing for whatever. And so, I tell it and the agent kind of builds on top of it. So there are a lot of projects like that and you'll start to get familiar with them as you start to kind of go deeper into the space. So once you start kind of building on one base, which is, learning how to delegate work to an agent and have it return results to you, then you can kind of take it a step further. So I think one thing that maybe I can kind of talk about here is like I started to, like a friend of mine hit me up and they said, hey, I want to see if I can kind of come up with a way to check permits in my cities and stuff like that. So like, I'm gonna say this. So like, I'm a commercial developer and I want to take a look when there's new updates to permits in my city so that way I can start reaching out to other folks. Can you do some research in terms of like what specific software I can put together that can help do this for me, or what type of agentic thing that I can send something like the Hermes agents to go do for me? And so I'm gonna put this on heavy, so it'll just send a team of experts for me for the results. So that's all you do. Just prompt it just like this, the way I'm telling you, like what your problem is, what you want to do. This person hires people to do this for him on his behalf, but now I'm basically telling an agent to go help me do the research and like what are the pieces that are needed to do this, because I have no clue, right? So I'll have an idea as an engineer, but I'm just curious to see what the agents are going to pull up for those results. And then so you can start piecing those puzzles together and then see if you can make a working piece of a software or a prototype for this as well. And so any research that you get here sort of compounds. So once you get research back, then you can hand it off to a coding agent like Cursor. You can hand it off to, Droid. You can hand it off to, something that just to prototype really basic things like in Claude Code. And giving it the research that you get from this type of agent will actually enrich the result for what you want, right? Because you've already been describing what your requirements are. You've been describing some background as far as what you want the agents to sort of do. And then those things, pieces of software can then take that and build it for you. So that's kind of prompting in a nutshell. It's like, what is my outcome that I want? Let me just send an agent to go do some research for me. That result, that information is super valuable because now it enriches your next prompts to go build the software because it has things to reference from and it has more of your intent as far as what you're trying to drive. So that's probably the best way to do it. So like right now it says San Jose's official data sources are from here. So the best setup for the developer is a combination of the city's own free daily updated open data, plus either a simple custom script, no automation, exactly what you've asked for, Hermes style AI agent type of thing. So this is pretty cool. And it even gives me the exact things that I should be scraping for, these types of things. And it even has permit searches as well. Simple software you can put together yourself, developer friendly. And when it says that I can put together myself, this is something that I think that I can hand off to an AI agent. So not that me that's gonna be putting it together. So this is kind of where you can, yeah, hand this off and then take it to another agent, right? So you can say, go here and then say, go Claude code, and say, I want to see if I can build this using the Claude SDK. Here, help me plan a basic prototype for this, right? So this is all we do, and that's it. So like I copied the results, I put it into, you know, Opus 4.7, and we're just saying, let's help me build a basic prototype, right? Like didn't spend too much time, but then that iteration back and forth can help get something really real. And so a lot of people sometimes will get too hung up in like trying to be extremely correct for a specific piece of code. But in this world right now, it's really about prototyping very, very quickly, getting something to prove that it's even possible, and then moving on from there, and then going deeper on the different aspects of things you need to do. And so some of the most successful business people get those prototypes up and running super fast so they can get the idea and get the feel of things. So one of the things I learned recently was for the people who were around for the early Tesla days, what they did there was they actually, I think it's got like a lawnmower plus some other type of electric battery and some type of electrical system to demonstrate the acceleration you would feel when you get into a car. So they were able to build a prototype in a quick weekend to kind of prototype what the Tesla would feel like when you hit the accelerator. So when the investors came to give money and saying, hey, we want to do this type of thing, while they were in the boardroom, they said, like, do you want to go do a quick test drive or do a quick drive? And they're like, yeah. As soon as they got in there and they got in the car and they felt the acceleration, they're like, oh, this is what it's going to mean when you put electric engines into a car. We just thought electric engines were really weak. We didn't realize it can just be that powerful to kind of give us that feel, right? So like that basic prototype set the whole forward motion for like a $1 billion plus company. And you want to do these types of things a lot. And you can do that now with AI pretty quickly because you start to prove that you can start to get towards something that you want to build. And these agents can help us like lay down software and prototype super fast to get into a direction to then continue to get that feedback that you need. So that's probably like the way that you'd probably want to approach, building software in this agentic manner, and kind of putting these pieces together to kind of see if you can get something that's tactical and feel, and then use that. So don't use LLMs for deterministic work. Fetching a CSV and diffing two snapshots is boring Python. Claude earns its keep on interpretation and drafting layer where the keyword filters break down. So this is really cool. So I told it about the Claude Agent SDK, and it's even advised me that I probably shouldn't use it just for repeatable work because LLMs will then want to choose a different path. And it gives me the architecture. So it's the fetcher, the differ, the analyst agent, and the notifier. So that's a really cool architecture with these two types of pieces, because that's all you really need. You just need something to go get the information all the time. You need something that's going to always do the diffing. And then you need analysis. That's where the agent comes in, the intelligent part, which is going to read the filtered rows and stuff and then take a look at the criteria and see what we want to grab from this. So this is just a conversation with another tool, right? So we went from Grok to then Claude AI. And then we can either hand this off to GPT to build or Claude Code to continue to build, right? So you can say, hey, this is great. Go ahead and start building it. And you can say, like, this looks foreign to me, but I think this is legit. Like, the cron runs. So literally, you just set it up, it runs itself. And then now I have all the code for this permit system, right? It's going to go query these permits. It says, load today's new permits, rank the top 10 commercial leads, draft an outreach for each, and then send a briefing summary when done. And so these are the tools that it's going to do. So Claude is going to do a web fetch, and it's going to load the permits. It's going to do different things for saving the outreach. So it's going to write those tools for us. And those are the repeatable tools that we called out earlier up top. So that's going to be the fetcher, the differ, and the analyst agent. And that's going to be basically built into this simple loop. So now you have an agent. In essence, what we've created is an agent that works on our behalf. And an agent, all it describes is like, what's the task and what's the outcome. And then the tools are things that you build that are repeatable over and over again. So the repeatable things are, like these types of things here, right? That's why I said, like, this is where you want to put the LLM. So yeah, 100%. This is the agentic mindset. Yeah. Thank you. Learning so much from these streams. Appreciate you. Yeah, definitely. Hit the subscribe. Tell some more friends. You know what I mean? That's what's up. go to Grok with the Hermes team, so many different strengths by using multiple LLMs. Yes, yes, that's the other thing. So you'll start to find out just from the way that I'm prompting and seeing things like, I didn't realize that Opus has a big, adversarial conflict with the Grok models. They think all the information that comes from Grok is just like, propaganda. I mean, yeah, probably, but like, come on though. Like, let's be real. Like, it's not all, right? Like, you as a human can start to filter out, but why can't a smart LLM also filter it out as well, right? It should be able to run some type of analysis to think about it. I'm just saying, right? So, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah. Back to Grok. Okay, yeah. What is the AMA? If somebody asked me about LLMs and stuff like that, what they should do for, creating some. Oh, I see. Ask me anything. Yeah. sorry. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's just off the cuff thinking on like using AI to help you learn to adjust to this new agentic world, and it's not as complicated as it should be, if you know what I mean. I think this is a basic agent. It's not called OpenClaw. It's not, whatever. We're leveraging a software development kit that Claude made called Claude SDK. It's very well defined. It's very well AI digestible, and Claude itself knows how to build with it. So if you want to think about making an agent, just tell it to use the Claude SDK. And then as you become familiar with some of these tools, then you can pull in other cool tools to do cool stuff with you. So for OpenClaw, for example, Pete Steinberger, started using that Pi, agent and so forth, because he can then, it's almost like a foundational lower level of like advanced engineering. So he's very familiar with grabbing other tools and then retooling them to make his own tools. And as you get more familiar and get way more experience in this game, you'll then be able to take stuff that's off the shelf and then add your own stuff and kind of make your own new tool that serves your specific function. But a lot of the best software is like the simplest because it's very composable in that way. So once you start doing these types of things, you start to find out that software has the strength of composability, and you can extend and bring cool stuff in that people have done and then enrich your software to make it better. So that's kind of what it is in a nutshell. Do I think Mythos will ever be? No, I don't think so. I think it's such a large model that it's just too expensive, and there's no way they could even support all those people hitting the API. So yeah, we'll see what's up. And I think the cost will continue to go up as well. Well, actually not the cost. The cost won't continue to go up. I think here's a couple of things that people didn't talk about. So from a architecture perspective, I think this Mythos model, if I were to guess and read between the tea leaves, that is probably one of the first models that was used to as one of the bigger models trained on the Blackwell architecture and all the architecture that the new NVIDIA stuff is running on. And so what's happening there is in the interview with Jensen and the interview with Dwarkesh, Jensen made a comment that that model wasn't even the biggest model that has been trained so far in terms of like capability. Like there's way more compute that's available, and like their training one and stuff like that was pretty small, even though it's like possibly 10 trillion plus parameters. But the price will actually go down to use that model because of the optimizations that still need to happen. So we're still in all of these early stages, especially with these architecture changes that NVIDIA is releasing every year, which is kind of insane, that there's specific kernel engineers. And the kernel engineers is just taking like a specific function of something that needs to run and then optimizing it specifically for the hardware, so there isn't a bottleneck there anymore. Because a lot of times the compute is already done, but it's just waiting for that one routine or something to finish before it can continue on to get the rest of the results. And the way I like to explain things is like, imagine you have to get all the dirty clothes around from your house, and you're trying to get into that one room where your son is at, and the door's locked. So you're just waiting for him to unlock the door so that you can get inside and then grab everything and go, right? So like that's kind of what usually you're waiting on, right? Like, well, we should probably make a window so we can get in, or probably stash a key somewhere. So let's go make the thing and then do that. That's, making a kernel in a really overly simplistic, non-complicated way. But yes, so there are huge opportunities for people to tune these types of models for, you know, the latest hardware architectures. And that will actually drive the cost down. And that's actually something that Jensen was saying in the keynote for GTC, is that like they're going to continue to bring the cost down with this new architectures. And I think people who are training models on this new stuff, like Cursor with the Composer 2.5, you know, they take an open source Kimi and then they just do some training on top of that in RL, and they bring their enriched data set. That's actually the magic power that not a lot of people are talking about, that actually gets you leverage over the longer term, because you can continue to optimize and make things way more efficient, which is very exciting. I think companies like that are going to continue to make crazy margins, because they are going to continue to get that good feedback from the customers and the data, improve the models, improve the user experience, you know, keeping, maybe even bringing costs down, but still having those big margins on top of that. So that hardware that they have, they're basically saying there's tons of room for you to have tons of margin, which is kind of insane. So yeah, as far as Mythos, I think it will eventually be usable maybe in 18 months for the general public in some type of capacity. And there might be like another, I think they're also probably using that models to distill down other models as well. So yeah, that'd be really interesting. Okay, cool. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop on out. So I'm trying to think about my stream schedule for the next couple of days, for the rest of the week. So I initially thought about streaming every single day, but I realized that, you know, life happens and a lot of other things happen as well. And I want to make the streams very meaningful and very useful, because I think the first stream I did after being gone for almost 12 days was like 4.5 hours long. And I know not everyone can watch the thing, and I'll be doing probably some clips from that. But I do want to share some things, and I kind of want to hear from you. I think if you made it this far, like, what type of topics would you like me to talk about now? You know, is OpenClaw still interesting to you? It's very interesting to me in my life. You know, the health and fitness journey is a really big part of my thing. I'm even contemplating starting a different channel specifically for the health fitness part, just talking more in depth about that. The AI thing kind of comes into play with some overlap there, and I may bring up like a project that I'm working on for like a specific tracker or a research type of thing. So I'll think about that there. But yeah, maybe might do the live streams maybe 2 times a week. Could be like Tuesday, Thursdays or something. Or do you guys like the weekends? I'm really curious. I know there's people all around the world. My bias is towards like 10 o'clock Pacific time. So that'd probably be like Tuesday, Thursday is kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe once on the weekend or something if there's some crazy stuff that's happening. But I want to leave the weekends open, so if there's a hackathon, I could do an IRL stream or something like that. But I would love to hear from you and figure out, you know, what different stuff you'd like to hear about. Want more stuff on how AI can help with sales, like full life cycle. You know, I'm not a sales bro, but if you ask me questions, I can help. Like from an engineer perspective, like I'm an engineer, so I can tell you, type in these prompts and you can probably do this. Or like if you're trying to create a dashboard, I'm like, oh yeah, just type these prompts in and I can tell you, you know. So yes, I go back and forth. So I'll walk like Kailua Beach. So I hang out a lot in the town of Kailua, and I'll be there May 9th. So I'll be there for like about a month. So I go back and forth, and then there may be a Google event. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go, or a Microsoft event. So yeah, that's kind of where the back and forth is really happening a lot. Do I have any insights on GPT 5.4 Cyber? I don't. Yeah, that'd be interesting though. Your in-depth look at tools, actually using them, I find very helpful. Live streams from events are always fun. Okay. Yeah, Phil, let me know what tools you want me to check out, because I'd love to do that live. I love to do, that's kind of my fun too. Oh, let's go. Oh, awesome. Yeah, let's go. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to swing by because, yeah, in May, hit me up. Yeah, let's go. That's awesome. Let's see. I think that would be an interesting to hear about the fitness with AI. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the different things are. Okay, so it sounds like in-depth with tools, like the fitness stuff. Maybe just if somebody has use cases that they're using for sales, let me know. Like the person for the commercial real estate hit me up and said, oh, you know, I want to basically build an agent. I have lots of questions. I have lots of answers. No. Yeah, I'm working on a revamp of my website because from there I'll have like the Discord link, some more of the community stuff, and more of the tools. And then, so RayFernando.ai will have like the latest updates for a lot of things going forward. So I'll have some of the show notes and the rundowns and stuff that's there. And then I'll also have some automation set up so they can be sending emails. It's been long overdue and I'm finally getting around to it. I'm really happy about that. So that's what's up. Shoot, shout out to my island peoples. That's so cool. Yeah, that's what's up. Awesome. So can't wait to be there. It's probably the weather's phenomenal right now, and can't wait to get back into paddling. So that's another thing. Get back into paddle shape, So got to get rid of some of these handles and stuff so we could do that. All right, folks. I'm gonna head on out, and I will see you guys probably Tuesday. Peace out, y'all.